Good afternoon, Mrs. Sudi and friends. Today, me and my team gonna present about
Good
present
afternoon.
present continuous, present simple versus present continuous. Have to, don't have to.
Simple present. What is simple present tense? Simple present is a verb tense with two main use. We use the simple present tense when an action is happening right now or when it happened regularly. Here's the formula. There are two formula in simple present tense. The verbal pattern, the positive is subject plus verb 1 with s or es plus complement. The negative is subject plus do or does plus not plus verb 1 plus complement. The question is do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus complement. And the nominal pattern is the positive is subject plus auxiliary verb to be plus complement. And the negative is subject plus to be plus not plus complement. And the question is to be, am, or is, or are, plus subject, plus non-verb, plus question mark. Here's the example of verbal pattern. The positive is, I live in Jakarta, and he lives in Jakarta. The negative is, I don't live in Bandung, and she doesn't live in Bandung. The question is, do I work? The answer is yes, I do, or no, I don't. And does he work? The answer is yes, he does, and no, he doesn't. And here's the example of nominal pattern. The positive is, I am an international school student. The negative is, she is not an international school student. And the question is she an international school student? The answer is yes, she is, and no, she isn't.
Present continuous. Present continuous verb tense indicates that an action or condition is happening now, frequently, and may continue into the future. The formula of present continuous tense: subject plus am or is or are plus verb plus object, subject plus am or is or are plus not plus verb plus object, and am plus am or is or are subject plus verb plus object plus question mark. Example of present continuous tense is you are dancing on the stage, you are not dancing on the stage, and are you dancing on the stage?
Present simple versus present continuous. For simple present, we use it to talk about habits and routines or repeated actions. And present continuous, we use to talk about something that is happening at the moment and the action is not finished. The other differences is that simple present uses verb 1 plus s or es, and present continuous uses verb 1 plus ing. Here's the example. For a simple present, the example is he is a chef, he cooks delicious food. And for present continuous is he is cooking a new recipe. The other example is I'm a builder, I build houses. And the present continuous is at the moment I'm building a house.
Have to and don't have to. So have to is something you need to do following a rule. We use have to talk about strong obligation or to say this is necessary. The structure of have to is have to plus base form of the verb. Don't have to. Don't have to is something which is not necessary. We use don't have to say it's not necessary to do something. The structure is don't have to plus base form of the verb. So this is the example, have to. You have to go to school. They have to clean the house. Don't have to. You don't have to come to school on Sundays. We don't have to watch this movie. So that's all for our presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you. Section B.
Sir, saya izin ke toilet ya, Sir.
Oke, Ratu. Section B.
Good afternoon, Mr. and friends. We want to presentation English about past simple, much or many, some or any, comparative and superlative. Past simple, regular and irregular verbs. Past simple is express activities or events that occurred in the past. Example: 1. I washed the dishes. 2. I played tennis when I was young. 3. Anna went to the supermarket yesterday. And this is the formula. Regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs are the verbs with usual simple past and past participle form. Example: yesterday Jack studied all day. Have you finished yet? And I study in library. And irregular verbs refers to the verbs which have same or different present and past tense forms. Example: she wrote a letter yesterday. I had bought some books last week. And here's the verb. Much or many. Much and many means a large quantity of something. We use much for non-countable noun. Example: coffee, bread, oil, and water. Example: I have noticed gotten money. Much time was spent studying for exam. We use many for countable nouns, like apples, shirt, carrots, and more. Example sentence: I have not so many. 2. My brother has many toys.
Comparative and superlative. Comparative is comparing two things. There are two ways to show a comparative comparison using a and more. Superlative is to compare one object to many. Just like the comparative, there are two ways to show the superlative. Using is and most is used for words with one syllable. Example: Mexi- Mexico city is one of the biggest cities in the world, but Tokyo is even bigger. That's all for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael and friends. Let's continue. Topic section C.
Sir,
May we start?
Okay.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today, me and my team, including Joseph, Michael, me, and June, going to be presenting about grammar from Welcome Section C.
will or won't. Will is used to talk about what is going to happen in the future, especially things that you are certain about or things that are planned. Won't is defined as will not. Won't is used to indicate a future non-occurring action. Formula: positive form, subject plus will plus verb one. Negative form, subject plus will not or won't plus verb one. Question form, will plus subject plus verb one. Short answer form, yes or no plus subject plus will or won't. For the examples, it won't be home before midnight. It was his mistakes, but I won't hold it against him. I won't tell anyone your secret. For the will, I will do my best to help you. The funeral will be held next Friday, and this year's next event will have a new form. To an adjective. To an adjective. To meaning more than enough. We use to meaning more than enough in different position. To positive adjective or adverb. To comes before an adjective or an adverb. Remember that using to with an adjective or an adverb usually suggests that is negative 10. Formula or structure. The use of to can be paired with an adverb or an adjective or an adjective. The formula is subject positive, be positive to positive, and adjective or adverb. Example, to as a preposition, definition, or direction. We are going to Liverpool next week. Does he want to come to the park with us? The dog ran to us as soon as we arrived. To before adjective and adverb. This coffee is sweet. I can't sleep. It is so hot. It happened too quickly, so I just didn't see it. To before adjective or adverb to infine. The water was too cold to swim in, and to horse is too long to wait.
All right, so adverbs. Adverb, okay, so it's adverb, and you pronounce it adverb. An adverb is a word or phrase that modifies or qualifies an adjective, verb, or other adverb or word group, expressing a relation of place, time, circumstance, manner, cause, degree, etc. As for the formula, we make many adverbs by adding "ly" to an adjective. For example, quick, to quickly, careful to carefully, beautiful to beautiful. And some individual examples are sadly, happily, clumsily, glamorously, especially, elegantly, and effortlessly. And here are some sentences that uses adverbs. Fortunately, I brought an umbrella. Effortlessly, she stole my heart. He immediately hid his face as she looked at him. He relentlessly worked every day for his own good. Be going to. As for the definition of it, we use going to talk about actions in the future, although it has different uses. We can use going to talk about action that we have already decided. Example, I'm going to travel to Moscow. I've already bought the tickets. We can also use going to talk about predictions when we say that something is going to happen in the future. In other words, when the situation is clear. Example, the cat is going to fall in the water. It's also possible to use going to with the verb to be in the past or to express situations that were interrupted. Example, she was going to get married, but her fiance broke up with her. That's going to be it for our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Basti and friends. Next, Justin, let's go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sudi and friends.
Good afternoon,
Today,
everyone.
me, Kilkion, and Divino are going to present our presentation about Welcome Section D. First conditional. The first conditional is used to express the future consequence of a realistic possibility now or in the future. There's a 50% chance that the first part of the sentence, the action following if, will happen. For example, if I miss the train, I'll take the next one. If it rains, I won't go to the park. If I study today, I'll go to the party tomorrow. Continued by Defino.
Adjectives for feelings and opinions. Adjectives are sentences that determine the nature of people from their own opinions and feelings. Example, the book was so interesting that he read it 3 times. I didn't enjoy the film last night. It was very dull. Those sunglasses are great. You look really cool with it. Should and shouldn't. Should and shouldn't is a word to give people advice or to talk about what we think is right, good, or wrong. Shouldn't. Or questioning our action. Example, you should do your homework. You shouldn't skip a class. Should I study for tomorrow?
Present perfect with ever and never. How do we use never and ever? Ever means at any time, and never means at no time. Ever the adverbs ever and never express the idea of unidentified time before now. Ever and never are always placed before the main verb. Never at no time before now, and it's the same as not never. We often use ever and never with the present perfect, but they can also be used with other verb tenses. Never and ever are common with the past simple. Never, the example one is they had never seen such a beautiful sunset. And be careful, we must not use never and not together. The ever with the question one, do you ever come to London? And the example one is nothing ever turns out right. Most people will consider the character traits described by the personality adjective below to be good or positive. This is generally true, but remember that words are often used subjectively. For example, determine is shown here as a positive personality adjective, while stubborn is listed on the negative personality adjective page. Yet the meaning of both can be very similar. The example one, the grumpy. Example sentence: my boss is really grumpy. He's an easy person to get along with, and the easygoing, it's someone who is easy to get along with. The example sentence: my husband is very easygoing.
That's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.